Hi, this is Shashank Tilak. Welcome to this video, which is an introduction to our web-based, self-paced training program on managing inventory and other operations in your retailing and distribution chain. We expect that this training program will help you to improve the business results in your operations substantially. Basically, a retailing and distribution operation appears to be pretty simple one. You start with buying or making materials in bulk at the source and then sending it through the entire distribution chain in 3 or 4 stages till the product reaches retail shelf where the customer will come and buy the product. However, there are major problems. Mainly because of distances involved, the timelines, uncertainties in customer demand, uncertainties in transportation, services related to transportation, and variety of other things. As a result, at every stage of the overall distribution process, each manager will try to keep a little extra inventory at each point so as to ensure that adequate inventory is available as and when the downstream customer asks for it. Net result, overall the inventory keeps on growing. And irony is that in spite of this increase in inventory, customers may or may not get the product as and when they need it. In fact, a study published in the May 2004 issue of Harvard Business Review had covered a population of 71,000 consumers worldwide, and the study concluded that there is an 8% chance that customers will not get the product as and when they need it right on the retail shelf. Out of these 8% cases, almost 46% is the proportion where it's a retailer who loses this opportunity to sell. Just imagine, almost 4% or half the quantity of the shortages experienced is the amount that the retailer cannot realize the sale for. A 4% increase in gross revenue of the company. Consider this also. In most retailing operations, in at least Indian subcontinent, the net profitability of a retail organization happens to be between 0.5% to at best 5% of the gross revenue. Do you get this? Essentially, if we are able to make an incremental gross revenue of 4%, it's not going to happen just like that. There will be incremental costs involved. But still, major costs related to basic product cost, procurement processes, storage, transportation, overheads, advertising, everything else is already incurred. It's only the last mile connectivity, so to say, which prevents us from realizing this 4% additional revenue. If we are able to make this, wow, another almost 4% of the gross revenue will go straight to the bottom line, which means even in the best case of 5% gross net profit margin of the gross revenue, the profitability almost doubles. That's the size of an opportunity by way of business results if you are able to improve the availability on the retail shelf. Now, lean philosophy is an excellent method to help us realize this additional gain. To manage this change, It will be necessary to carry out specific projects for improving any of the business processes involved in the whole business. Six Sigma and its methods come in handy over here, where we will be able to make these changes in a sustainable manner and in a systematic manner. So welcome to this program. Let us follow through this introduction and then do let us know how you feel. If you like this video, please subscribe to our channel and do contact us. Thank you. As a concept, retail and distribution business appears quite simple. Basically, you make or acquire products in bulk and store it in a central location. From there, these materials are sent to distributions in their distribution centers in smaller quantities. These distribution companies acquire these and several other products, maybe even from competitors, and make packages consisting of several of these units as per requirement of individual retail locations, and then send it over. At each retail location, these aggregates of different materials are stored in a back room and moved to retail shelves as and when individual customers buy these products. At each location, there is sufficient arbitrage between the cost of acquisition and the price at which the product is sold downstream. Movement of these materials in smaller quantities for each individual stream, but overall matching the volumes, and then increase in value as the product reaches closer to the end customers, is a real business for all retail and distribution organizations. Now, let us look at the retail operation in some more detail. Retail operation occurs over a distance of several hundred kilometers. For that kind of distance, the bright chance that from the point of origin or the manufacture till the product reaches the end consumer shelf, you might cross over several boundaries of states, provinces, or even countries. For each of these crossover, there is a strong need for taking care of specific regulations, taxes, and other documentation. Apart from this, almost any business is likely to deal in several products and a range of services. Some of these products might be the simple vegetables and fruits, or even cell phones, which have a rather limited shelf life. Or it could be FMCG products, which have a serious competition, and that's why need to be presented properly to each customer. It could also be serious engineering or other components which have not only the cost implications for the basic product itself, but availability of the end equipment like an aircraft or an oil rig, which matters more to the end customer than anything else. Based on these products and the type of usage, the customers and different segments of each customer will have specific demands and expectations of performance from the retail business. As a bridge between these customer expectations and the product capabilities and the organization capabilities, we have to train range of functional teams consisting of salespersons, store managers, transportation, finance, accounts, and other administrative operations differently for each of these combinations. As mentioned just now, running a retail operation is a very complex process. There are a number of steps involved right from the point the customer raises a demand And we take actions right from procurement, transiting the materials from point of origin till the retail shelf and everything in between. The entire effort runs over several hundred kilometers across different boundaries, transition times and transaction times and different functions and people. Only way the whole thing will run smoothly is to have a robust business process. A robust business process is very much like a team running a relay race. Each individual in the team will carry his or her own task. Hand over the result of this task to the next team member. During this handover, it is necessary to recognize that there is always a chance of a mishap and a mistake in handing over the baton. The process must take care of such accidents and mistakes in handover. In spite of all of this, we have to make every effort to make sure that we record a win. The business process is essentially like a smooth machine where movement of one lever will result in a positive action to deliver end results to the customer and all the stakeholders. In supply chain and operations context, lean is not just a method of reducing inventory. It is more of an operational philosophy. Whenever an uninitiated person hears about lean, they invariably think of JIT inventory, meaning there's zero inventory. This is exactly similar to thinking that a lean person is more like an anorexic or ultra thin fashion model. Things could not be more mistaken than this. In operational sense, a lean organization is more like a weightlifter, a wrestler, or a boxer. These sports people are also extremely conscious about their weight. They want to remain at as close to the top of their particular class but never exceed the limit of that class. They want to ensure that every gram of their weight is devoted to that agility, strength, and coordination and never have any kind of fat. Lean operations is exactly in this sense. The lean philosophy insists that every kind of resource that is utilized in operations is devoted to providing better value and better service to the customer and then keep on improving both by way of increasing customer service and reducing the resources deployed. In today's market conditions, it's no longer just a physical product that the customer buys. Customer buys a combination of physical product and services associated with it. Just the physical characteristics, accuracy, consistency, reliability of a product is important, but even more important is the performance of the product during service life. Just as a lithe and supple gymnast on a Roman rings is much more liked by the spectators than a weightlifter. In case of a resort, finding that the housekeeping team has delivered the towels to you is important, but even more important is the fact that the housekeeping staff has made some interesting figures out of the same towels. That provides an additional edge to the services that the housekeeping provides. Any physical product or any product in today's world is exactly like this. That's why we like our digital version of a Swiss Army knife. We normally call it our favorite smartphone. It comes with a number of capabilities which were hitherto not possible, and the capabilities keep on increasing. As a result, customers always prefer to buy a smartphone rather than a feature phone. This increase in value and reduction in cost is the real focus of any manufacturing or supply chain organization. A distribution supply chain business must always remember this and try to improve value and reduce the costs. It is vital for a distribution and retail organization to keep in mind that it does neither design nor make the product that the customer wants. Only way it will contribute to value for the customer is by making sure that the product is available along with necessary other products and services as and when where at a reasonable price that the customer is willing to pay. The only way the business will survive and thrive is by way of increasing the value delivered and by reducing its own internal costs. Six Sigma looks at a business as a set of interconnected and dependent functions and business processes. Each of these functions and processes will be further broken down into sub processes and individual tasks. At each level of this breakup, there are three distinct actions being performed throughout. In the first place, we receive a work product from a supplier process, carry out our own set of tasks, and hand over the resulting work product to the customer process. Doing this consistently will ensure that there is a minimum variance in the work output that we deliver to our customers. As the business progresses, it is necessary to carry out improvements in two ways. Number one, we have to reduce the variation in end results that we achieve. And number two, we have to carry out major improvements by way of changes in the average value that we deliver to the customers. Now, this can be carried out iteratively, both in terms of making consistent changes from top to bottom in any business process, and number two, contributing to other interacting processes with which our work is related. This philosophy and methodology is very similar to and consistent with the methodology followed in lean philosophy. For that reason, lean and Six Sigma will go hand in hand to deliver more sustainable and continuous improvements in any business. Six Sigma helps us to meet rising expectations of customers, investors, and other stakeholders in our organization. Essentially, there is a continuous need to keep on reducing the variance and improving predictability and achieving higher results of whatever tasks that we do. Since this keeps on happening repeatedly, having a continuous review and changes in the business processes is necessary. Now, these processes can be broken down or related to some higher business goals, such as achieving higher profitability, and there would be several functions and tasks which are related to delivering this higher profitability, and in order to achieve the end result of the highest level, we go back and study and change sub processes for each of the components, such as improving reliability, achieving higher velocity, ensuring better availability, and other such KRAs. Transformation of an organization to a lean state is not an easy task. It has to be planned and executed as a set of change management projects. There are two ways of bringing in these changes. One is a bottom-up approach where we look at pain points and absolutely essential actions to bring in to improve working on the shop floor. The second approach is a top-down or a strategic approach where we look at overall business results and drill down to bring in necessary benefits. In either case, it helps to demonstrate that the changes are working and motivates people to bring in a virtuous cycle of improving overall KRAs. For bringing in lean operations, it is necessary to reduce costs. And one of the key ways of doing that is to save time and actions of people. These could be the customers or our own internal people. In today's world, customers are not necessarily looking to buy only the products that they see. They also want to have experience of buying and ideally a pleasant experience of making. In case the customer has to carry out any additional activities or tasks or go on querying with somebody else, it reduces the happiness and in fact it might lead to painful experience for the customer. A painful experience for the customer will also mean a painful experience to the sales associate and other frontline people. In order to improve efficiency and save time for everyone, we must look at pain points which cause unnecessary actions for customer and sales associate, and these unnecessary actions also cause more costs and unnecessary actions to everyone. So resolving pain points is a top priority. Along with the customer and sales associates, we must also look at pain points faced by other support staff such as purchasing, finance, administration, back office work, and other team members. For doing this resolution, we have to understand what these people are saying, essentially lend them our ears and understand their voice of customer. This is a first and a relatively easier way to start a good project and bring in lean operations. Unlike tactical route, we look at strategic route in a top-down manner. We start with financial statements such as profit and loss, revenue and expenses, cash flows, schedules of different accounts, etc. to work through details of growth in revenue, inventory turns, return on assets, return on physical assets, which are solid KRA numbers. These numbers are being used by global consulting organizations like Gartner Consulting for evaluation of best performance in global supply chain. The basic financial data is available in public domain for our peers and competitors as well. Comparing this internal performance data with similar performance data of competitors as well as our own time series data helps us to achieve two different targets. Number one, we are able to identify our own strengths and weaknesses on the time series data. Number two, comparison of the KRAs with our peers and competitors tells us which are the areas where we need to make substantial improvements. Based on that, we can select correct projects in a strategic manner. Overall, to select projects in a proper manner, we need three different. Number one, we must have a priority list of KRAs. Number two, we must have established a clear structure and knowledge about dependencies of different KRAs, the underlying business processes, and areas where we need to work. Thirdly, we must also have a very logical mechanism for resource allocation so that both strategic and tactical projects can be taken up in synchronization to achieve the lean objectives in a consistent. Hi, this is Shashank Tilak here again. Tell me, do you find this introduction and the training program relevant and applicable in your business operations? I'm quite sure you do. Please do let us know. Let me also add, as a follow-through service, we also offer a 2-day set of sessions for a 6 to 10 people cross-functional team from your organization, where we will walk through the entire process of identifying change management projects, how to break them down, and how to implement them for implementing lean operations and making major business improvements for your company specifically. We also offer training programs in most of supply chain areas and business improvements. Do let us know what are your specific needs. Subscribe to our channel and contact us on the email or phone number shown on your screen, and we'll be happy to assist you in the whole process. Thank you.